In 2001, the French ambassador to England was heard to deride, quote, that shitty little country Israel. The sentiment, while crudely expressed, is not uncommon among Western liberals and leftists. But how does Israel stack up to its neighbors when judged by the cherished values of the left's own touchstone slogan, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité? Israel is a democracy ranked as free by Freedom House. Among the members of the Arab League, there is not a single state that ranks as free. Just 3 precarious democracies rank as even partly free. Of those, the only one designated an electoral democracy several years running is Comoros, a small island chain off the east coast of Africa. The other 2 are Libya and Tunisia. Israel's inherently harsh occupation of the Palestinians began in self-preservation, and Israelis would end it almost entirely if it was safe to do so. But rogue states still call for its destruction. Heavily armed terrorist groups sit on its northern and southern borders, and the stream of suicide bombers from its eastern border was only recently halted by the construction of a physical barrier. Democracies under attack tend to curtail freedoms. In America, controversy has raged over civil liberty abuses in the name of the global war on terror, but the abuses during World War I and World War II were far more egregious. It's doubtful that any other liberal democracy, if confronted by the violence of Israel's enemies and faced with Israel's geographic isolation, would do a better job of preserving liberty. Israel is one of the most egalitarian countries on earth. Women have a larger role in the military and politics in Israel than elsewhere in the world. The UN's Gender-Related Equality Index for 2009 showed the wage gap between men and women in Israel as smaller than even in America. When Golda Meir became Israel's prime minister in 1969, she was only the second woman to become the head of a state in the modern world. The army is a great equalizer in Israel. Females are conscripted alongside males. Lines of rank in Israel are fainter than perhaps anywhere else in the world. Israeli soldiers address their superiors by first name, not rank, and they rarely salute them. Israel presents one of the most accepting legal frameworks for gays with regard to the recognition of gay partnerships in marriage and the rights to adopt. Meanwhile, none of Israel's neighbors grant gays even basic rights, and all but a few make homosexual acts punishable by jail, whipping, or even execution. Israeli Arabs vote and even serve in the Knesset, Israel's legislature, whereas hardly any Jews have even survived in the Arab nations. Israeli Arabs do score lower socioeconomically than Israeli Jews, but the differences are narrow. Israeli Arab life expectancy is a bit shorter, but it's higher than that of Americans. And while Israeli Arab educational rates are lower, they are still among the highest rates for Arabs anywhere in the world. Despite tensions, Israel affirms the place of the Arab minority within the nation. Road signs, food labels, and government announcements appear in Arabic, one of Israel's official languages. Arabic is mandatory in predominantly Jewish schools, just as Hebrew is mandatory in Arab districts. Asked whether Israel is a better country than most other countries, Israeli Arabs agreed even more often than Jews. And 82% of Israeli Arabs asserted that they would rather be a citizen of my country, Israel, than of any other. And yes, that includes France. And what of the left's latter-day values, like environmentalism? Well, Israel is a world leader in social energy and water conservation. According to Dan Senor and Saul Singer, Israel is the only country where the desert is receding and where the number of trees is increasing. It has successfully reintroduced 6 disappeared species to original habitats in the Negev and Galilee. It was the first to ban the fur trade. Israeli occupation is fair game for criticism, as are Israeli settlements which complicate peacemaking with the Palestinians. But a left of intellectual integrity would acknowledge Israel's odds-defying accomplishments and its fulfillment of the left's core ideals of liberty, equality, and brotherhood. Few other countries, if any, can match this record.